Today, being the 22nd day of March 2026, wherever you are across the globe watching this video, if you're a Christian, when you get to church today, pray at least for 30 seconds or for 1 minute for God's divine intervention that this war may come to an end. Anyhow, if you are not a Christian, whichever religion you believe in, devote 1 minute or 30 seconds for prayers. Because what I talked about in the last video I dropped a few hours ago is about to be played out in the coming hours or in the coming days. The President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump, has released a new threat, a warning to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or rather to the Islamic Republic of Iran. He has warned them that starting from the moment he was dropping that very tweet on X handle, formerly Twitter, that he has given them 48 hours to remove every threat, every obstacle, every blockade from the Strait of Hormuz. That failure to do that, another catastrophic event will take place. Let me read out the post or the tweet from Donald J. Trump so that you will understand in clarity what we are talking about. According to Donald J. Trump, he wrote, "If Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump." Now, before this threat is coming, Donald Trump was already considering some other options, like I already pointed out in my last video. Seizing or hijacking the Iranian Kag Island that controls 90 to 95% of their oil exploration. That is number one. Or using military maneuver or force to remove the threat already planted at the Strait of Hormuz by Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And now, this very threat or this very warning. Don't forget that earlier, Donald Trump said he might reconsider attacking all the gas facilities in that Kag Island. Yes, and he also talked about attacking the entire largest gas facility or gas field of Iran in the South Pars, which is considered to be the largest in the world. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because actions and reactions will always be equal but opposite. You see, the point I'm trying to make here is this. This war is not ending anytime soon. Yes. And this action, if eventually the Iranian Revolutionary Guard fails to open Strait of Hormuz fully, and Donald Trump goes ahead to attack their power plants or their gas field or hijack their Kag Island. You see, at the moment, Donald Trump has at some point said it clearly that there is nobody to talk to in Iran today. There is no leader. There is nobody to talk to about ceasefire or making an agreement. Do you know why? Even when there is no supreme leader, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard continues to fire missiles, even though they are being daily decapitated. Now, let me take you a little bit into history before we talk about how Saudi Arabia and Pakistan will likely get into this war. It was back in the year 2005 or early 2000, precisely in the year 2003, after the government of Saddam Hussein collapsed. Just in 11 days, many of you can still remember what happened between the United States of American forces in Iraq in those years. Then Iran borrowed a leave from what happened from the incident that took place in Iraq, and they concluded that every form of centralized military will collapse eventually. And then one of the commanders of IRGC, General Ali Jafari, among with other top officers in the IRGC, they formalized the playbook of the decentralized military that we have in Iran today. They adopted a mosaic defense system. So when they adopted this mosaic, defense playbook, what they did was to divide the military in Iran, according to province, plus Tehran. So they had the 30 province in Iran plus Tehran, making it 31 provinces. And they equipped and authorized each of these provinces to act independently should there be silence from the central command whenever they lose communication from the central command? And the strategic thing about this, 31 provinces or decentralized military is that each of these provinces has stockpile of their own missiles, ballistic missiles, short range and long range drones. They have their own commanders, they have their own units. So the moment they lose communication from the central, commander or the central authority, which happened the moment, the supreme leader Ali Kamoni was eliminated, they lost, communication, and there were already pre-recorded, instructions, pre-recorded authorizations that the moment this happens, then continue to attack, continue to launch attack, continue to fight to survive until somebody tells you to stop. At this material time, there is nobody to tell the Iranian soldiers, the Iranian military, to stop. Maybe the second son of the late Khamenei, Mojtaba, who currently we don't know whether he's still alive or he's still on sick bed. Maybe not. But so what this means more is like having a state police. Just think of Nigeria, for example. Across the 36 states in Nigeria, you have state police. Everybody have their own commanders. They have their own military, they have their own police, they have their own stockpile of weapons, missiles, drones, and everything. And the central command says, once you cannot reach me, once there is no communication from me, continue to fire, continue to attack, continue to fight to survive. Don't stop. That is a clear picture of what is happening in Iran today. So as they receive attack from Zamfara, bomb they flow from Kwara state. As that one they happen, another one they come out from Enugu state. From Enugu state, boom, another one they happen from Boronu. It's crazy. But the way it is now at this material time remains that this decentralized military unit or cells in Iran will continue to fight independently until they run out of weapons, until they run out of missiles, until they run out of drones and all of that. So practically nobody is going to be able to stop these people unless there is a ground troop, some level of offensive. Just maybe ground troops or ground operations will be able to capture, many of these commanders of these provinces, capture their units, capture their facility, capture their underground tunnel, capture, whatever that need to be captured in order that a new instructions may be, administered or issued, in surrendering. So that could be another strategy or another tactics that will probably prevent all of these decentralized units from raining attack going forward. Having established that, so this very formation of Iranian military tells you that there will always be reactions for any action taken both by Israel and by the United States of America. And it now depends on the capacity they still possess, to reacting to any action taken by Donald J. Trump. But the ballistic missile attack that was launched against Diego Garcia, the UK and American joint air base at the Indian Ocean, that travels up to 4,000 kilometers, is a very big concern today in Europe. I will drop a different video section on that so that you will understand the threat, why Europeans should currently be grateful to United States of American President and Israeli Prime Minister, who have been saying it over time, that Iran is building way more dangerous weapons that can travel anywhere, including the nuclear warheads and all of that. But that will be a discussion in another section. So when you look at the whole trajectory of event, you know that time is becoming very delicate. And now, what will happen if the US finally destroys the power plants of Iranian government? Definitely, this decentralized military, they do not listen to any other instructions because they have lost communication from the central command. Because they have lost communication from the central command, so they will continue to launch attack. Now, what will happen when US attacks their power plant? Definitely, these men would want to rise up to retaliate. How are they going to retaliate? I've always maintained that out of rascality, they will attack indiscriminately of the members of the Gulf nations who are considered to be allies of the United States of America, countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Qatar, countries like United Arab Emirates, Kuwait. They might try to destroy their own energy facilities, their power plant, their oil field, and all of that. And what will happen if they eventually attack Saudi Arabia, for example. Saudi Arabia in the year 2025, had what they call strategic defense mutual agreement with Pakistan. In that agreement, they are simply trying to say that any aggression on one of the country is an aggression on both of them. So, according to their foreign minister, and the news coming from Saudi Arabia today, if Saudi Arabia eventually, because they have released their warning that if Iran attacks them again, that they will reconsider coming out fully to joining the war. And if they join the war, it means that their allies, which is Pakistan, that shares about 900-kilometer border with Iran, is likely to come into the war in full force. And you know, Pakistan also has a very strong military. So at the end of the day, there are chances that Saudi Arabia will mobilize the entire Gulf nations against Iran. Now listen to that very video clip and we shall ramp it up from there.
If the Saudis would decide to enter with complete force with regards to this war, Iran is definitely going to be the biggest loser, because Saudi Arabia will activate its bilateral defense agreement with Pakistan, and it will rally the Arab and Muslim world. We are speaking of over 50 Muslim countries to have one target, is to put Iran on its place. So the last thing we want actually is to enter this war, and we want a political solution by any way. Definitely the best outcome would be for Iran to let go of the three major requests, or the three major issues, which is the militias, the nuclear ambitions, and also the ballistic missiles. Will there be a way through which the Americans and the Iranians find a way through which they can save the Iranians' face and have all these three demands to be applied without declaring complete surrender? That would be the greatest.
Well, coming days will be very interesting, very scary, as well as, I don't know, but it's going to be really very interesting. All fingers crossed that it doesn't escalate to that very level. I do know that USA will never be silent while Iranian Revolutionary Guard close out Strait of Hormuz. And now some oil companies are being taxed. I saw in Newsline that $2 million was paid by oil tanker company to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. They paid to IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corp. I don't know the validity of that news. I didn't spend my time to verify that. I just saw the headline. So if that becomes truth, although the only truth we know today is that Indian vessels is being allowed to transport their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So I know that USA will never be silent, will never keep mute forever and allow Iran to continue to do that. It will be a very big blow to them and to their allies in the Gulf, you know what I mean, and then many other countries, you know what I mean. So there will definitely, Donald Trump being a man that talk and do president, will never keep quiet. There are some other alleged news that is currently trending now. I saw that from one of the United States of American news channel, an independent news channel, or maybe what you can call a blogger, where it is currently being alleged that approval paper has been given to the United States of American 82 Airborne Division, which is considered to be one of the elite specialized units in the United States of American Army. These are men that are trained or known for forcible entry and parachute assault. You know what I mean? So anywhere where things they hard, where people know they enter, this is what these people specializes in, forcible entry. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are also already lamenting from that very development. I don't know the validity yet, but I saw that very news that they have been deployed with the approval paper down to Iran. So you know what that means if it turns out that this is going to happen exactly the way it is trending now. And then combine that with the 2,200 Marines that are currently being sent down to Iran. Although one of the things that makes me be very doubtful of that very 82 Airborne Division is because usually the US Marine troops will have to go in first before this 82 Airborne Division comes in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. These are still speculations. It has not been 100% verified. But when you begin to look at, trail what Donald Trump has actually shared in many of the press briefing, where he talked about seizing or hijacking the Kag Island of Iran, and then also using military maneuver at the Strait of Hormuz, you will find out that these things will not happen through dream or through wishes or by mere saying it. It has to happen through specialized operations. And the US Marines, as well as this 82 airborne division are also part of the team that specializes in carrying out such operations effectively. However, all of these things will have massive consequences. If victory is achieved, the objectives is achieved at the end of the day, it will come with massive bleeding from both sides. Massive bleeding. Iran, from what we have seen so far, has been preparing for war for ages, for decades. They have been building bunkers, building tunnels, building ballistic missiles, long range, short range, building drones. They are into so many things. Honestly speaking, if not that USA was equally strategic from the beginning of time, destroying their missile facilities, production centers, research centers, Iran would still have been left with too many stockpiles of these missiles and rockets and these drones that they will continue to rain more heavy attacks. But still, they still possesses many of these. Probably what they still have now is still part of what they have in underground. Now, some news are saying that Iran's nuclear uranium enriched, the enriched uranium that is 60% enriched, was buried 100 meters in underground. 100 meters underground. This country, where did they call Iran? I beg, may not a consign happen between Iran and Nigeria, because if their missile do mistake, could they reach Nigeria within 3 hours from what these people are doing in Israel today? You know how many ballistic missiles both Iran, Lebanon are sending to Israel? And Israel Iron Dome is intercepting majority of them, and just the ones he cannot intercept are the ones that hit, and destroys, lives and properties in Israel today. So fingers crossed. Let us believe and pray fervently that all of these things does not happen as we are speculating them, because the catastrophic and adverse effect will definitely touch everybody. When you touch nose, you go touch mouth. When you touch ear, you go touch eye. Well, let's pray and hope that it does not happen in this fashion, because although chances are high it will happen, considering the decentralized military in Iran, these people are not ready to stop, because the instruction is, once you lose central command, continues to fight, continues to attack, continues to deploy until somebody tells you to stop. Maybe now the new supreme leader where they seek, and I ain't go tell them to stop if he's still alive. Well, at this point, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section, and share this video. Man, another person see him. God bless you.